So I got this comment on our River of Gold review video recently where I was criticizing the game for not having a native solo mode in the game, and the BGG community had already developed some interesting things, and it would have been nice to have an official solo mode. And this user is like, why does every game need to have a solo mode? I'm never going to play solo. I shouldn't have to pay for solo components. And I'm glad this publisher did not make this a 1 to 4 player game instead of a 2 to 4 player game. And I thought that was kind of funny, kind of interesting. Thought I would share some thoughts on it. Now, I understand to a degree where they're coming from. Sometimes I have a game where I know I'm never going to be playing at higher than 2, 3, maybe 4 player count, and yet it has 5, 6, 7 player counts. There's a lot of materials in the box, a lot of wasted space, stuff that I'm never going to use. That's a bummer. And also, I think there's a lot of shoehorned solo modes out there, lazy adaptations, things that are ill-suited for solo. I don't think every game needs to have a solo mode. That said, solo rarely requires a lot of extra components. Usually it makes use of the existing components that are there and maybe has a couple of extra cards, maybe a couple extra wooden bits, but nothing that's going to increase the MSRP on a game to make it a 1 to 4 instead of a 2 to 4. And on the other hand, what a publisher gains by making a game available as a solo game is that you now have an expanded audience. There's a lot of people out there who only are going to play a game solo, or they want to trust that they're going to be able to play the game solo if they can't get it played multiplayer. There's a lot of people, especially after the pandemic, that only will buy games if it has 1 to 4 on the box or, some sort of solo compatibility. And I think publishers should understand that they're limiting the potential audience for a game, especially a game like River of Gold that's an economic euro very well suited to some sort of automa, to not have that natively in the game. And I want the games that I like to be in the hands of more people, especially when it makes sense. So I hear where they're coming from. I completely disagree. This was a game that should have had solo. But those are my thoughts. What are yours?